Okay, so for this question, it's asking you, how does Bridget's disposition change after her first interaction with Michael in paragraph one? A couple things that you want to notice right away with this question. The word disposition. That's a tough word. If you don't know what that means, you're going to have to figure out what it's asking you in order to get this question right. And so it's asking about a change in Bridget, and it's a change in her that occurs after paragraph one. So if you don't know what the word disposition means, you can try to figure out what it's asking you just by looking at, okay, what changes about Bridget starting in paragraph one when she has this interaction with Michael, then moving on to paragraph two. Clearly, she has some change. What is that change? So even if you don't know what the word disposition means, you can kind of figure out it has something to do with her attitude, her feelings towards Michael, her overall kind of just mood. So those are what disposition actually does mean. It's kind of like your attitude or your mood in this case. So with that understanding, we can look at this again and say, okay, how does Bridget's mood change after her first interaction with Michael in paragraph one? And our options are she becomes irritated, she becomes suspicious, she becomes worried for his safety, she becomes comfortable in his presence. So if we look at these two paragraphs, right, from paragraph one, the very end of it, to the beginning of paragraph two, we can look back and remember that she asked him a question. And that question was an offer. Do you want me to hide you? Basically, do you want me to help you? And as you remember from the previous questions, Michael responds, because this is kind of who he is. He responds arrogantly. He laughs. He blows her off, totally disregards her, and really rejects her offer for help. And he says, "Thank you, but I'm pretty fine on my own. I'm capable of hiding myself. I don't need your help." And then it goes on. And the change that we start to see doesn't happen until we look at paragraph two. And in paragraph two, it talks about the girl who's Bridget. She remained for a few moments looking up the road, kind of looking at where he ran away to. And I'm sorry, not looking at where he ran away to, but looking up at the road to see the policemen coming. And they come and they see her. And it says that she's angry, but she's not saying anything. Okay. So that's important to keep in mind. Does she tell the policeman where Michael went away to? No, she's not telling them. But it does say that she's thinking, and she was kind of tempted by this impulse to tell them where he ran away to. It says in that sentence with the ugly reaction, it says, in the ugly reaction of her mood, because she is angry, she might have been tempted even to point out the fugitive. In other words, she was tempted in her anger to tell the police where Michael went. But then it goes on to say she didn't even know where she went. She didn't know where Michael went anyway, so she couldn't have told them even if she wanted to. So with this in mind, this change from wanting to help him to thinking about actually selling him out, thinking about actually ratting him out to the police, what describes this change best? A, does she become irritated with him? Well, irritated kind of matches the meaning of angry, right? And she's irritated. She's definitely irritated because he rejected her. He didn't accept her offer for help. So irritated seems to be a pretty accurate description of how her mood changes from wanting to help him to actually becoming bothered by him and irritated. So that's a really strong option, a strong candidate. But let's look at the rest. She becomes suspicious of him. That doesn't really talk about a change that she goes through. It does mention that she doubts him at first, but that doubt that she feels is all the way in paragraph one. So it's not like it changes from, oh, she trusts him at first and then she doubts him later on. So that's not a very good description of her change either. In C, does she become worried for his safety? Well, we don't really have any evidence to suggest that she's worried or nervous for him. If anything, we have kind of evidence of the opposite, that she's considering maybe telling the police where he is so they can find him. But she doesn't. We don't know exactly why. But, we know that she's not even able to because she doesn't know where he ran away to. Then finally, D, she becomes comfortable in his presence, which is impossible, right? Because he's now absent from her. So this is a ridiculous answer. It's not even possible. This is not the change that she goes through because Michael goes from rejecting her offer for help to running away and hiding. And that's the transition that happens from paragraph one to paragraph two. So it's impossible for her all of a sudden to feel comfortable in his presence when he's now not present with her anymore. He's absent. So after reviewing the answer options, you should be landing on A as the best option. She's angry at him. She's irritated with him because he rejected her.